Hi, everybody. We decided to do a podcast.
Welcome to the Willy's World Podcast.
Yeah, because we're really fucking bored and we're just thinking of stuff to do. So, Patrick Chu, what do you think of Star Wars?
Talk about the movie or in general?
Just in general. Starting
general?
off, in general.
In general, I love Star Wars. I think Star Wars is great. It is
Cool.
the perfect. The original trilogy was the perfect encapsulation of the hero's journey.
I mean, okay, Star Wars was okay. I enjoy it. I don't understand why it took off as like such a crazy thing.
I think it took off because wasn't the early movies didn't they have the best graphics that people had ever seen before?
BS graphics. No, they actually did have really good special effects
Like
for the time.
or special effects.
I mean,
graphics,
nothing like it
same
really
thing.
existed at the time.
So I think that's a good chunk of the reason why
Star
they were
Wars
so popular.
was space opera before space opera was really an established genre.
What is space opera?
like really dramatic things happening in space?
I mean, that was
I have
Dune.
never heard that before.
Dune is space opera, yeah, but you've never seen it in cinema before.
Okay, so would you call like Firefly space opera?
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, I could see that. All right, I get it.
So like, it just is. People like it a lot because it's the first. I feel like there's so much space for
Partially.
like.
I mean, you
improvement.
gotta also remember the whole thing about Star Wars was not only had no one ever seen it before, but it was also headlined by very strong characters, like very likable characters. So like
Not the actors, but the characters.
The actors were new, I think, at that time.
I mean, all the actors were new, yeah.
Yeah.
Except for Lando Calrissian. And when he came in the second movie, he was a very popular black actor.
Okay.
Yeah, but anyway, the characters are very by themselves. They're very likable and they're very memorable. Like, Han Solo. Everyone wanted to be fucking Han Solo. Like,
He was a cool guy.
I mean, everyone
He's
just
real
wants to be
cool dude.
Harrison Ford. Like that's really what
I
it comes
mean-
down to.
When did Harrison Ford go in any movies?
wife.
Was he in any movies before Star Wars? Like anything notable?
Yeah, he was in stuff beforehand. Nothing particularly
Harrison Ford
memorable.
was a carpenter before he got the role of Han Solo.
No, I thought he had one or two very small roles. I can't remember the names of the movies or shows, but I thought he had one or two very small roles.
Man, carpenters.
But
many people
he
you find out
was
about who are
definitely a
carpenters?
carpenter, but I don't think Star Wars was his very first thing.
Maybe we should just get an exclusive interview with Harrison Ford.
Fuck off.
Get your fucking Bruno reference out of here right now.
Let's see.
Yeah, we're looking it up right now. I get the wiki.
I have 1967.
American Graffiti landed him his first starring film role.
And he was hired by Lucas. All right, so George Lucas in '77.
Yeah, so it was Star Wars was essentially his first thing other than American Graffiti, but Wikipedia doesn't even have a link to it, so that's probably not much of anything.
So, I mean, I don't know. I guess
Man.
George Lucas is just sort of. I feel like if they didn't make the second set, like the prequels, right? Even though they may not be as good, like if they hadn't made the prequels, 7 and 8 would not exist.
No, I would believe that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, when was fucking Return of the Jedi made? It was like in the 80s, right?
I think it was like 81.
83.
83.
Yeah. So if Lucas wasn't such like a, I don't know.
Fuckhead.
Yeah, fuckhead. If he wasn't such a fuckhead making his prequels, like we wouldn't have any of the other shit. Like this would not be like a staple of American culture as it is.
Can you
today.
just imagine what it would be like essentially going from just a carpenter to a superstar, which is quoted in the wiki somewhere? I know, I just read it.
Dude, you know who else did that?
What?
Jesus.
Shut the fuck
Jesus
up.
Christ,
Isn't
superstar!
he, is his dad a carpenter or something? I don't know.
Jesus was a carpenter.
He was, but
Was Joseph a carpenter?
he didn't go from a carpenter to a superstar. There was a bit more gradual stuff in there.
Was
He was a
there?
shithead kid
Yeah.
for a little while, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm the son of God. I better use my powers for good."
That's
That's
not.
the story of Jesus.
That's not entirely inaccurate.
No, his uncle died, and
Dude, he got like an entire like group of like an entire fucking group of like 40-something kids just like slaughtered by bears because they called this old dude Baldy.
Jesus, what?
Yeah, this like this guy was like all offended that these kids called him Baldy, and he went to Jesus and he was like, "Oh, you know, these kids called me bald, and I don't like it at all. Can do something about it, Jesus." And Jesus was like, "Okay, kids, you know, I know you're all like young and like want to fuck around because you're full of like
What?
hormones and shit. And you're like at that middle school age where you're
Dude,
turning
this
into
is
a
a,
huge
this is a
shithead."
reference to something.
It's in the fucking Bible.
I do not
a
remember
reference
this
to the
at
Bible?
all,
No.
but I believe that it happened.
And Jesus was like, "Okay, let me summon a bunch of bears. Gonna fucking maul all these kids. That'll teach them a lesson. That'll learn you good right there." Just like dying the bears because he called an old guy Baldy.
Did any live?
No, they all died.
I don't know if I believe you, Patrick. This sounds completely ridiculous.
No, that is very, very
Okay,
First
okay.
Testament. So I believe
There are
that
no bears in the Middle East.
no, I believe that it
Goo-
happened.
Google Jesus Christ, bears kill a bunch of kids.
No
Just Google
bears.
Jesus bears.
So the moral of the story is
Okay,
Respect
Kings.
your elders.
Kings
That's
is-
the moral of the story.
Kings
Otherwise,
is a book
bears
in
are
the
gonna
Bible.
fucking maul you to death.
What I like to think happened is Patrick's parents were just fucking with him one day and made up some
No,
Jesus stories.
go to Second Kings. Yeah,
this one.
yeah.
Oh,
Oh, Bolden! What is this?
What? The
Yeah,
last-
two female
42 lads
bears.
is the number. Oh my god. 42.
Second Kings. Okay.
You fucking thought I made that up? No, I didn't make that
Yes.
shit up.
Wait, did Jesus sick the bears on them though?
Yeah.
Oh jeez.
Yes, he did.
No, wait. No, Jesus wasn't. This is Second Kings. This is Second Kings, and Jesus was not alive yet.
Yes, he was.
No, that's the Old Testament. Come on now.
No, I thought First Kings was First Testament and Second Kings was Second Testament. Is it not?
No, they're both Old Testament.
Are you sure?
We don't have time for this bullshit right now.
You know what? You know what the moral of the Bible is?
What?
Jesus is the bread. And that's all you need to
You
know.
need to have some really gross mustache hair before you say that.
So moving on from Bible talk, because
Yeah, how did we get there from fucking Star Wars?
because
I
Anakin
thought-
Skywalker is Jesus.
I could have sworn that I read somewhere that Star Wars did get some inspiration from the Bible. I swear I read that somewhere.
You know where Star Wars got its inspiration from? It came from three main factors.
Where?
Japanese movies,
Okay.
Japanese samurai movies,
Cocaine.
Nazi Germany,
Okay.
and
Dude.
George Lucas's deep, dark desire to not be a worthless piece of shit.
Isn't that every film director?
I mean, just fucking look at James Cameron.
Has
James
George-
Cameron doesn't do what James Cameron does for fame and glory.
I thought James Cameron
James
only
Cameron
directed
does.
like B.
What James Cameron does, because James Cameron is James Cameron.
Sweet reference, bro.
Thanks, dude.
Doesn't he only do like B-rated shitty Christian movies?
James Cameron?
James Cameron.
He's like probably the
James Cameron.
Well, then who am I thinking of?
James Cameron.
He was a pioneer. That's
James Cameron did Avatar. He did the Transformers movies. No, he didn't.
No, that was Michael Bay.
Michael Bay. James Cameron is a very critically acclaimed director.
All right. Here we
Well,
go.
dang.
Terminator, Aliens, Terminator 2, Titanic.
Okay,
Spider-Man?
okay. Well, clearly I'm thinking of the wrong guy, but I swear
Avatar.
he has the name
Are
Cameron.
you thinking David Cameron?
so. This guy essentially
Maybe?
invented this superhero genre.
Like
movies.
he only does really shitty B-rated Christian movies.
Sounds like David Cameron.
Is it David? Google David Cameron real quick.
Dave Cameron.
Yeah.
Dave Eck. Davek!
Davek.
Dave Cameron.
No, that's
He's a
not
baseball
him.
analyst.
Just Google shitty
He's an
Christian
ice
movies.
hockey professional.
David Cameron, right there. Oh,
The Twitter.
British politician who was a prime minister of the United Kingdom.
That's not him.
That's not him at all.
No. Just Google Cameron Christian movies.
Christian Cameron.
I have to know. Jesus.
The last 2 minutes.
Oh my god, it's James Cameron.
Has James Cameron found Jesus' tomb? Oh, cool. Oh, what a...
Da-
Or
Da-
is it just a statistical error? What is... So apparently James Cameron found the Jesus tomb. Alright. Alright.
James Cameron.
Get over here, Nick Potter.
I'm over here. I'm doing the mouse.
You gotta get more over here.
All right.
Oh,
All right.
Moving on from hot topics such as James Cameron
James
and
Cameron.
statistical errors.
So he has nothing to do with Star Wars. The whole
No,
point
he
of
does
that
not.
is just that George Lucas is like self-conscious of his directing style, I guess.
Okay, so how many of you know that George Lucas's wife was like the biggest editor of the first film?
I knew that. I thought she did more than just the first film.
She did the second a little bit as well.
Really, just those two?
Yeah, she was not involved for Return of the Jedi.
Oh.
But they had
Is
no
that why it
people
was so
in
much shittier than the others?
I mean, arguably yes.
Ha! Ewoks.
What was her name again?
Dude, I don't know.
George Lucas's wife.
Okay.
Georgia Lucas?
It's just a female version of George Lucas. It's like a dwarf.
I feel like it is common knowledge that his wife did do a large amount of editing for at least
water.
one movie.
Give me the water.
So,
Yeah.
Patrick Hsu,
Yes?
what do you think of the new Star Wars movies?
I actually liked Force Awakens, though I thought Rey was a bit Deus Ex Machina in it.
Wait, which one is Force Awakens? The one that just came out, or the one that came out like 2 years
The
ago?
one that came out 2 years ago.
Okay.
Wait, Rey was in Force Awakens?
Yeah.
What did she do as a Deus Ex Machina?
Literally was able to lightsaber fight Kylo Ren with zero training plus.
He had a
Are you
severe
talking about the
injury.
first movie or this movie?
Huh? The first movie. That
Oh,
was, that-
I'm sorry. I thought you were talking about...
What is happening, Ben? What are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
Wait,
Okay.
I thought you didn't need force training to use a lightsaber. I
Yeah.
thought anyone could pretty much just pick up a lightsaber and use it.
I mean, if you want to look like a fucking jackass, because that's exactly what Finn looked like when he picked up a lightsaber. He looked like a jackass.
Well, but
Finn
he
is a
was,
jackass.
he was
rightfully
fighting for
so.
a cause.
That doesn't. It doesn't matter if you're fighting for a cause. You look like a jackass when you pick up a lightsaber. You don't know how to use it, and you're just like, Ray.
Okay, and
But it's his
two
best
things.
friend.
Two things in defense of Rey beating Kylo Ren. One, she has been shown to be very proficient with melee weapons before that. Early in the movie, she has shown several times to be able to beat the shit out of people with a melee weapon. The fact that she's using a sword doesn't seem that out of character for me.
Is a lightsaber considered a sword?
I mean, it's a melee weapon.
Luke literally
Okay.
calls it a laser sword in The Last Jedi.
Well, I'm not that familiar with the early movies.
So,
okay,
going
all
on.
right, I agree. Fair.
The second thing is that Kylo Ren got shot with the Whoopi bowcaster.
The Whoopi Goldberg.
The Wookiee bowcaster, which was shown like 4 times previously in the movie to fucking decimate shit. And Kylo Ren took one right in the fucking chest, and he was like, "Ooh!"
I mean, but have you seen Kylo Ren's chest?
yeah,
It's
is
pretty square.
It
Yeah.
can. That's probably the.
You know-
It can take a hit.
Well, one thing I was actually surprised about is that his chest didn't have a big ass scar on it from that shot, because
Well, no,
it did
his-
have scars on him from all the other attacks.
No, he had a long scar going
Yeah, that
from
was-
like his eyebrows all the way
That was
down
from when
past his
he
neck.
had
He-
all of the
he
injuries
got
from the
shot in the
lightsabers.
side, like literally, like
Yeah, but you saw a side in the movie.
like at the where the rib cage ends, the side.
yeah,
So maybe he was like in surgery for that one a lot sooner because it was a more serious injury, I don't know, like they fix everything so easily and.
I mean, he's still got that big scar. And if you look at his shoulder, he got hit in the shoulder with a lightsaber when going up against Finn and
Okay,
Rey.
so
And there's a big giant scar there.
So in my mind, that doesn't really matter all that much that he got shot. So if Darth
Why?
look, okay, he got shot.
Okay.
He was clearly like not 100%. But think back to like A New Hope. If Luke Skywalker took a lightsaber in A New Hope, even if Darth Vader had been shot by a Wookiee bowcaster, do you really think that Luke could have beaten Darth Vader in the first movie?
Are you comparing Kylo Ren to Darth Vader?
Yes, I am.
I know that he has
The
power, but it's
Force
not
Awakens
like
was
harnessed.
literally a fucking carbon copy of A New Hope.
Yeah, and I appreciate that there are issues with that, but I don't think that has a problem with it. Has anything to do with that.
Okay,
Rey winning.
So, Kylo Ren, from the very get-go, was established as probably the most powerful Force user that we've ever seen on screen.
What?
Yeah.
He
You don't
froze
agree
the
that?
blaster.
He froze a fucking blaster bolt in midair. Is there anything in the original trilogy or the prequels that even comes close to that level of force power?
Do you think the other?
No, I guess not.
I'm sure
but-
Luke could do it. I'm sure that Darth.
No,
could
Luke
do it.
is obviously not able to do it. Even Darth Vader just put up his fucking metal hand to absorb blaster bolts instead of like trying to freeze them midair.
I mean,
And
I-
Kylo Ren, he did it without even any like visible sign of exertion. He's just like, oh, nope, here we go, it's frozen.
My problem is that I just don't count the last two movies or any of the Disney movies that are going to come out as canon. Something about it just being owned by Disney, I can't count it as canon. I don't know.
So, going back to what you're saying, Patrick, in defense of you, I will actually agree that, especially in the midpoint of the movie when Kylo encounters Rey,
You mean after the "that's a hell of a pilot" scene?
yeah, exactly after that. He literally encounters her, freezes her in place with the Force, and then instantly knocks her unconscious with it, with no effort whatsoever. And then at the end of the movie, he does not seem to have any control over that whatsoever. You could say that maybe with the shot and everything, that he was kind of just not as well in tune with Force stuff, just because he was, my chest is bleeding a lot. I don't know. But it was definitely a significant downgrade in his powers in that last fight.
I mean, yeah, he's definitely injured, and that is what allowed Rey to beat him.
Yeah.
That's what made it a fair fight.
I don't think that Rey showed anything more powerful than what she had shown before. I think that
No, she definitely
Kylo
didn't.
was very much down-powered in that fight. I think that's where the big change from.
Yeah, I agree with that.
like, yeah, he just killed his dad, the guy who everyone wants to be.
Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. And it was established, at least in
The Last Jedi.
Yeah, The Last Jedi, that he was very conflicted about that, and it was bothering him. And maybe that's one of the big things that stops him from being able to force power.
Ooh, boy.
God damn it!
Ooh.
And there goes the spilled everything. It's okay.
No worries.
It didn't get on anything electrical.
We'll continue.
Yeah, I got
Yeah,
it.
no, continue.
Just got on
Continue.
pants and legs.
It's fine.
So, what do you think about that? Do you think that's a fair assumption?
Yeah, I
That
guess.
the killing the dad thing might have affected the Force part, and that
Yeah.
the shot in the chest affected his physical prowess with the
I mean,
lightsaber
he
part.
definitely has physical and emotional turmoil, I guess, going on. I still don't think Rey is powerful. Even in the second movie that just came out, she's still not particularly powerful. She can move rocks, and that's about it.
Okay, she didn't just move rocks. She picked up like an entire fucking
Yeah, she's getting to the point where
landslide
she's
full
pretty...
of rocks individually, held them in midair, and as people started walking through them, she moved them in a way that would make space for them to move. That is not just powerful. That's like beyond anything that you've seen in canon.
Okay, well,
I've
to
only
be
ever seen this
fair,
level of power once in my life before. I
to be
wasn't scared
fair,
enough.
I've
back
seen
then.
all of the previous movies only once, and I slept through all of one of them. I think it was the fourth episode.
The New Hope?
Maybe. I'm not really sure which one I haven't seen, but I was asleep through the whole thing. So I don't have a lot to go on. Because we binge watched all of them, which is a very long time. That's like a full day of Star Wars.
Well, in any case, you know, those are all fair points about Kylo Ren being, you know, nerfed for the fight with Rey. But at the same time, like, if you're going to establish what is essentially going to be the big bad of the series, and then you see him get raffle-stopped by Rey, who has had no training, you know, that it just sets a bad precedent.
Yeah. So what do you think of Snoke then? Because in certain ways you could, at least in the first movie, consider him to be the big bad. But
I think Snoke was, I mean, because you got to also remember, like, J.J. Abrams directed the first one, and then Rian Johnson wrote and directed the second one. Oh my God, dude. So it's like, Snoke was obviously a character that they wanted to utilize more, that at least J.J. Abrams wanted to utilize more, and then Rian Johnson was like, no, I'm going to have my own villain, and it's going to be this guy that we already have in
Wait, who's
And-
Ryan Johnson?
the director of The Last Jedi.
I
He wrote
did
and
not know
directed
that.
The
Yeah.
Last Jedi.
If James,
Oh.
if Abrams had kept going, it probably would have been just Kylo switching sides and then them both fighting against Snoke and it being super linear.
I
Boring.
wanted him to switch sides so bad. Like, I knew in the back of my mind that it wasn't going to happen, but I wanted it so
But
bad.
that's so like
what would the
goody.
conflict be if Snoke died and Ben switched, though?
I know. I just
There's
wanted
something
them
for
to
the
kiss.
third movie.
Now kiss.
See, I really
I wanted
appreciate
it so bad.
I really appreciate sort of the gray that isn't present in earlier Star Wars movies. Like they tried to like make references to it here, but like they sort of failed in really bringing it out. It's still very black and white, good and evil, and like I guess that's sort of what gets to me about Star Wars as a whole.
It's a simple story.
Yeah,
It was originally about good versus evil, about a dude that came from nothing and rose up against the evil terror of the universe, space Nazis, and won.
Star Wars, the original trilogy, was the hero's journey.
yeah.
It was probably like the most quintessential example of the hero's journey in the modern age.
But like, I don't know, things are more compelling if they're more reflective of like life and like social examples and things like that. And it's like
Well, what
you
makes
don't get that from black and white.
Well, what makes a story compelling, Ben? Character growth, good settings.
Yeah, all of that.
I'm not disagreeing with you, but what is more important to you? What would you consider a more important aspect of a compelling story?
I think that's
Interesting
Character
characters, or like in a very well developed world.
I think those are absolutely not completely independent. Like having black and white characters is sort of it's unrealistic for any world, and it does not create interesting characters.
I mean, do you think Star Wars did not have like complex characters?
No, they definitely did.
I think the original trilogy has the most complex characters so far. Like Luke was starting to go bad at the end there, and then like I mean it sort of reverted out of it at the very end, but
Well, he wasn't about to go bad. He was about to give in to temptation.
I think he
close to
was
the
like
end.
questioning the light side, I guess, kind of, for lack of a better term.
I don't think so. It was
He
never.
was, I guess, curious about the dark side.
It was never a question of is he gonna turn to the dark side. It was is he gonna give in to his passions, which is the road to
Okay.
the dark side.
Yeah, that's definitely a better word for it. Yeah.
in the end those turned into the same thing.
Is there much difference there?
Like one
Turn
is
to the dark side is like a conscious choice to start using the dark side. Like, because it gives you better benefits. To give in to your passions is, oh, I'm super mad. I'm gonna kill this guy because I'm mad.
but you eventually go dark. It's like one's just a slower version of the other.
Well, that's like
Fair.
that's an oversimplification.
Eh.
Like in the Star Wars games, you see, oh well, you know, I want more power, so I'm going to turn to the dark side.
Are the games canon?
Some of them are.
Okay. Fair. Okay.
There's canon is I don't know. Anyway,
Yeah, canon in Star Wars is pretty confusing at this point. But
And the only two real issues I have with the last two movies are I wish Rey had more character development. I feel like she just appeared and we were like, oh, that's our protagonist. Okay. I wish she had more development to really make us like her or get to know her better, I guess.
Yeah, I think that was an issue just with the pacing of that.
Yeah,
movie,
it just felt rushed to me.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to take my time with her.
Well, maybe if they took out all the goddamn filler, it would have been a better movie.
Yeah.
I'm not arguing
I mean,
with that at
yeah,
all.
I don't think anyone would argue with that.
No.
Fucking
And
Guillermo del Toro is goddamn like, oh, I'm a hacker.
are you
like-
talking about the second one? With
Yes.
the stupid casino scene?
It was like, that's suspicious.
That's
It
why-
was. I appreciate that they kept someone in the movie with some kind of disability. Like, okay, cool.
Did you just
It's-
call a stutter a fucking disability?
It is in a way. I would call it a type of disability.
I would call it a speech impediment, but okay.
This is a
Okay.
disability.
Yeah.
I agree with
Okay, alright, whatever. Well, point being, I appreciate that they kept that in. That's not my issue with him. It's the whole freaking scene, like the casino. Why? That's just
that. It's
filler.
dumb. It's
The
dumb.
movie is 2.5 hours long. You don't need filler.
Yeah.
That's why Nick, Gisani, and I, on our second viewing of it, we walked out during that part to go to the bathroom and
I noticed
not
that.
be around.
I noticed
and
that.
the movie was better for it. Like,
I definitely picked up on the fact that you left as soon as that scene started, and you did not come back until like well after it ended.
yeah.
The only good thing to come out of that was the gray, you know? Like there's bad guys supporting good guys and good guys supporting bad guys in the war. And
It was just so
Okay,
fucking
fair.
ham-fisted, though. It was like, oh, look, who owns this ship? You sell him to the First Order. Oh, wait, he's also selling to the fucking Resistance.
Like the whole point of that, however, like 20-minute long scene or whatever, was to show that everything is gray. There is no black and white good guys, bad guys, and that just felt stupid to me because that feels really common sense. Like, yeah, of course there's no black and white.
Oh, but you gotta tell me, are we double dealing under the table? Because if we are,
it'd be crazy if in the last movie the director comes out with like this thing where it's like the real bad guys are not actually what's it called? The First Order. They're just like weapons dealers.
it's a fucking military-industrial complex. It's political commentary on
Huge
America.
political commentary. It's just Eisenhower just like
Be careful with that. It's harsh, bud.
You say bud.
Dude, it's marijuana flavor.
It's definitely not the same flavor I always use.
Yeah.
It smells the same.
It's barely legal.
It's the name of
That's
the flavor.
yeah, that's literally
Cool.
the name of the flavor.
and
Are you implying there's marijuana in this, or are you implying that the name is barely legal?
No, it's just hot vape juice.
this is kind of awkward.
This is just hot vape juice.
I can't believe a member of my own family could say something so terrible.
And there you go.
I told you, it's hot vape juice. It's some harsh bud.
That is a harsh bud.
Dude, let me get some of that harsh bud. Oh god, this is the harsher bud, isn't it? I haven't tried this vapey.
That is the harshest bud.
It's pretty harsh.
That's a
Alright,
good
one more.
bud, but a harsh bud.
And that's a Star War.
That's a singular Star Wars.
Oh, this is good podcast material. Just us coughing.
And that is the story of how we all developed COPD.
I've got the black lung, Pop.
A merman!
I've got
I'm a merman!
Oh, jeez.
But why male models?
You still recording?
Next time on Willy's World!
Is that it? Is that the podcast? And talk about Star Wars.
That's yeah.
Okay,
Alright.
let's just stop that and do another one.
No, you know what? No, we're not done. We're not done yet. I just want to say goodbye, everyone. It's been a lot of fun, and I'll talk to you later.
I want to put it in your butt.
Willy's World ASMR. Brought to you by.